Chapter 1. Blood Behind the Marble Doors. The city sprawled beneath a bruised moon, its neon glow a mockery of the darkness clinging to the sky. The shrill ring of the phone, a banshee in the stillness of my apartment, ripped me from a restless sleep. I snatched it, the receiver cold against my clammy palm. "Detective Thompson," I rasped, my voice thick with the remnants of nightmares and the weight of 1,000 sleepless nights. "Thompson," a voice sharp as a blade crackled through the receiver. "Heaven Heights, penthouse, homicide, now." The urgency was a physical force slamming me into alertness. Heaven Heights? My pulse hammered against my ribs. No case at that address could be ordinary. "Top floor," the voice continued, laced with barely concealed panic. "They need the best, fast." I slammed the phone down, the plastic burning against my skin. Sirens wailed in the distance, a macabre chorus guiding me toward the scene. Urgency, my constant companion, coiled in my gut. Tonight, Halloween night, it felt like a predator, stalking me towards the heart of something monstrous. 20 minutes later, I was a blur of motion, sirens screaming a path through the deserted streets. The city lights became a kaleidoscope of fear as I raced toward the heart of darkness. Heaven Heights, a glittering monument to wealth, loomed ahead, its polished facade a stark contrast to the churning unease in my stomach. I knew what awaited me inside wouldn't be a domestic squabble. It would be something far worse, something that would stain the plush carpets of luxury with the cold reality of death. Heaven Heights, our city's crown jewel, a 24-floor testament to excess, shimmered under the malevolent moon. Inside, the elite reveled in amenities fit for royalty, a sanctuary far removed from the city's grittier realities. My mind sifted through possibilities, expecting the usual domestic dispute turned deadly or a robbery gone wrong. But a primal instinct told me this was different, a cold tendril of dread snaking down my spine. I, Detective Jack Thompson, parked my aged sedan and gazed up at the imposing building. Even after all my years in law enforcement, I never quite got used to these pockets of extravagance in the city. I pocketed my keys and strode into the condo. Despite the late hour, a handful of elaborately dressed residents mingled in the opulent lobby, their Halloween costumes adding an eerie touch to the atmosphere. The lobby of Heaven Heights, usually a haven of hushed whispers and polite nods, thrummed with palpable unease. The Halloween decorations, garlands of cobwebs, grinning jack-o'-lanterns, and flickering candelabras did little to mask the underlying tension. The scent of death, metallic and sharp, cut through the lingering notes of cheap perfume and spilled champagne. A harlequin, their diamond collar a mocking glimmer in the dim light, offered me a tight-lipped nod. A Cleopatra, her elaborate headdress slightly askew, leaned into the ear of a nearby gladiator, his plastic sword awkwardly bumping against the marble floor. Their hushed whispers and furtive glances spoke volumes about the grim reality lurking beneath the surface of this macabre masquerade. I scanned the crowd, my eyes searching for a familiar face. There, at the edge of the lobby, stood William Blake, the building manager. His usually meticulous attire was disheveled, his Dracula cape hanging awkwardly from his shoulders. His face, normally flushed with good health, was ashen, a stark contrast to the crimson streaks of fake blood painted on his neck. His eyes darted from side to side like a trapped animal seeking an escape route. As I approached, he straightened his back, a forced smile twisting his lips. "Detective Thompson," he greeted me, his voice a hoarse whisper. "Terrible news, isn't it? Mr. Rosenthal, such a respected member of our community. Who would do such a thing?" His words dripped with feigned innocence. but I detected a tremor in his voice, a hint of something lurking beneath the surface. "Let's not jump to conclusions, Mr. Blake," I said, my gaze sweeping across the room, taking in the masked faces and nervous smiles. Blake swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing in his throat. "Of course, Detective," he stammered, fumbling for his keys. "Please, follow me. I'll take you up to the penthouse." He led me through the crowd, the silence amplifying the eerie atmosphere. The scent of blood grew stronger with each step, a morbid trail guiding us toward the scene of the crime. We reached the elevators, the polished brass doors reflecting the distorted images of our Halloween costumes. Blake pressed the button for the penthouse floor, his hand trembling slightly. The doors slid open, revealing a dimly lit interior. As we ascended, the silence became oppressive. Blake, attempting to make small talk, stared straight ahead, his face a mask of strange composure. I could feel the weight of the situation pressing down on me, the knowledge that behind those penthouse doors lay a scene of unspeakable horror. The elevator lurched to a stop, the doors parting with a soft hiss. We stepped out onto the penthouse floor, the plush carpet muffling our footsteps. A lone uniformed officer stood guard outside the apartment door, his face a grim reflection of the tragedy that awaited us inside. Blake produced a key, his hand shaking as he inserted it into the lock. With a deep breath, I prepared myself for the horrors that awaited. This penthouse, normally a sanctuary of luxury and indulgence, had been transformed into a slaughterhouse, a macabre stage for a twisted performance. As the door creaked open, I knew that the real investigation was about to begin. The opulent foyer, once a showcase for David Rosenthal's exquisite taste, was now a slaughterhouse. Blood splattered the walls like a macabre mural, a grotesque counterpoint to the pristine marble and gilded frames. The scent of blood, thick and metallic, mingled with the cloying sweetness of air freshener. Moonlight bathed the penthouse in an eerie glow. Shards of glass glittered like malevolent confetti amidst the upturned furniture. Shredded canvases, once vibrant with color, now hung like tortured ghosts, their wounds echoing the gash on David Rosenthal's body. He lay sprawled on the plush cream carpet, a king dethroned in a pool of his own blood. A red samurai Halloween costume, a mockery of festivity, clung to his lifeless form. A cold glint caught my eye. A kitchen knife, its handle a stark contrast to the pristine marble floor. It wasn't just the violence that demanded attention, it was the theatrics. A set of keys, like scattered chess pieces, lay across the study floor, each a glinting accusation. A lone whiskey glass on the bar held a single fingerprint, a silent witness. No attempt to wipe it clean, no effort to hide. This was an audience they craved, not anonymity. My gaze flickered to the blood-stained canvases. Were they collateral damage or a message in crimson strokes? An unsettling thought pricked my mind. This wasn't just murder, it was a performance. A twisted tableau designed to convey a chilling narrative. But to whom? The air thrummed with unspoken secrets. This wasn't a random act of rage. It was a meticulously planned execution. The killer didn't just know Rosenthal, they understood him intimately. The plush surroundings, once symbols of his success, now felt like a cruel joke. Who, amidst the glitz and glamour of Heaven Heights, harbored such darkness towards a man seemingly blessed by fortune? I checked the whiskey glass, noting the chilling promise of the fingerprint. I searched for the second glass to the set, but none was in sight. Taking mental notes of it all, I knew this wouldn't be just another penthouse case. This was a puzzle painted in blood, and I was determined to decipher its chilling message. My mind, however, whirred with a different kind of activity, racing through the faces of potential suspects. Who could have harbored such animosity towards a man like Rosenthal, a man who seemed to have it all? Money and jealousy, I knew, were often the venomous serpents coiled around the heart of murder, and Rosenthal had both in abundance. My gaze snagged on something out of place on the study desk. An ornate box, its hinges cracked and gaping open like a silent scream. Its emptiness gnawed at my curiosity. What had been inside? What secrets did it hold that warranted such forceful intrusion? A flash of light in the foyer caught my eye. Keys, another set scattered like fallen dominoes, lay near the study room entrance, far from the body. Another cryptic clue, their presence whispering a story yet to be unraveled. My experience had taught me that a person's life was rarely taken for whimsical reasons. Love, money, revenge, these were the unholy trinity that fueled the darkest acts. Unraveling their threads in this tapestry of death would be my task. For now, I meticulously documented the scene, piecing together the puzzle before me. As I jotted down notes, something else caught my eye. A shoe print, small but distinct, near the body. It looked like a female's shoe. Just then, a familiar voice cut through the tense silence. "Just arrived, Detective Thompson," boomed Henry, my partner, his presence a reassuring anchor in this storm of violence. He surveyed the scene with practiced eyes, his questions sharp and insightful. Together, we briefed the head of the CSU team, ensuring they captured every detail, every whisper of evidence. He's, shoe prints, the empty box, nothing escaped our scrutiny. As the crime scene team began their meticulous work, I took one final look around the decimated penthouse. David Rosenthal's opulent sanctuary had been transformed into a macabre tableau, a testament to the fragility of even the most gilded lives. For me, the hunt for answers had just begun. A silent vow formed on my lips. I would find the monster who did this. Justice for Rosenthal and for the peace of this shaken community would be served. As the crime scene technicians meticulously documented the gruesome tableau, Henry and I retreated to a corner of the penthouse, away from prying ears. The scent of blood still hung heavy in the air, a grim reminder of life brutally extinguished in this opulent cage. Elizabeth Rosenthal, Henry mused, his brow furrowed as he consulted his notes. Wife, socialite, currently out of town. Blake said she's on vacation. Convenient, I muttered, a seed of suspicion taking root. Wonder if she'll cut her trip short when she hears the news. Henry nodded, his eyes scanning the room, taking in the scattered keys, the overturned furniture, the blood-soaked artwork. David Rosenthal, he said, a hint of respect in his voice. Big player in the city, lawyer, real estate mogul, philanthropist, major donor to the mayor's campaign. A chill ran down my spine. Which means this case is going to be under a microscope, I said, my voice tight with apprehension. The higher-ups are going to want answers, and they're going to want them fast. Henry chuckled grimly. Welcome to the world of high-profile homicide, Thompson, where the stakes are higher, the pressure is relentless, and the truth is often buried beneath layers of privilege and deceit. Tell me about it, I sighed, running a hand through my hair. So, what do we know about Rosenthal? Any enemies? Disgruntled business partners? Spurned lovers? He was a powerful man, Henry said, his voice low and thoughtful. He made a lot of money, but he also made a lot of enemies. Word on the street is he had a reputation for being ruthless, cutthroat, stepped on a few toes on his way to the top. And his wife? I asked, my mind already weaving a tapestry of possible scenarios. Elizabeth? Beautiful, charming, the perfect trophy wife. But rumors are always swirling around couples like that. Infidelity, financial troubles, you name it. So, we've got a long list of potential suspects, I said, my mind already racing, and a whole lot of pressure to find the killer. But one thing's for sure, Henry, this isn't going to be easy. Henry clapped a hand on my shoulder, his gaze unwavering. We've faced worse, Thompson. We'll crack this case, one piece at a time, just like we always do. I nodded, a flicker of determination igniting in my eyes. The weight of the investigation pressed down on me, but I wouldn't buckle under the pressure. We had a job to do, a killer to catch, and justice to serve. I glanced around the opulent penthouse, the expensive furnishings, and the art collection. David Rosenthal was more than just wealthy. He was connected, a lawyer to some influential politicians. His name carried weight in certain circles. In cases like these, everyone was a suspect until proven otherwise. Henry nodded, his gaze hardening. With someone like David Rosenthal, there are bound to be enemies. We need to look into his recent cases, see if any threats were made. You know the captain's worried about this one, I said, glancing at Henry. Rosenthal's connections make this high profile. If word gets out before we have leads, the media will have a field day. The mention of our chief's urgency loomed over us like a dark cloud. Henry grimaced. The pressure's on, then. We need to act fast and smart. Check with the neighbors, see if anyone saw or heard anything. I'll dig into Rosenthal's political ties. Maybe there's a disgruntled client or a rival who wanted him out of the picture. As we divided our tasks, a nagging thought tugged at the back of my mind. The meticulousness of the scene, the personal nature of the attack. It wasn't just about money or power. It felt deeply personal, a vendetta rooted in emotion. Someone close to Rosenthal had wanted him dead, and they had executed their plan with chilling precision. The hunt was on, and as the moonlight began to creep into the city, I knew we were racing against time. Heaven Heights held many secrets, but I was determined to uncover every last one.